Cowabunga to all of you good cunts out there. I am of course the B-Man and welcome to another edition to the Bart's Terrible Movies series. Now, my 50 Shades of Grey review didn't do good numbers, mainly because it was a film targeting towards easily turned on OK magazine readers who probably have a good book over Peter Andre. But this movie will cater to this crap, fucking unfunny, awful, retarded YouTube channel that goes absolutely zero female views. The movie I'm talking about? Double Dragon. Double Dragon is a movie based on the popular video game released in 1987 for the arcades, and later ported on such consoles as the NES, the Game Boy, Master System and various home computers. Years later, a movie adaptation was released. It angered me when it first came out because I wanted a Bone Storm movie. But I guess Double Dragon had to do for the time being. And after the failure that was Street Fighter the movie, could this film right the wrong regarding video game to film adaptations? The answer is no. Hell fucking no. The film starts somewhere in China. That's what it actually says on the graphic. Somewhere in China. Loads of rioting going down. A ninja steals a medallion. You'll be hearing a lot about this medallion that you could do a drinking game every time the word medallion is mentioned. Then we cut to 2007. It's not the 2007 that we would eventually know with Rihanna's Umbrella dominating the charts, that shitty Princess Diana concert where Ricky Gervais bombed on his ass, and one of my favorite wrestlers of all time committing a double homicide, suicide. This was Los Angeles, now known as New Angeles, after a terrible earthquake. We see the T-1000 from Terminator 2. He is looking very much like Daniel Johns from Silverchair with a shit Vanilla Ice circa 1990 hairstyle. In 2007, our heroes in the movie, brothers Jimmy and Billy Lee, are in a tag team karate fight. Now if this was the real 2007, they'd be doing MMA. But no. It's karate. Billy gets himself disqualified by giving his opponent a noogie. Throughout the film, these two are nothing more than a couple of fucking geeks. Billy calls his opponent a butthead, which must have been cool in 1994, but not in 2007 where I never heard that phrase used once besides discussions of the show Beavis and Butthead. They cut to George Hamilton and Vanna White from WrestleMania 4 fame reading the news. George fucking Hamilton. The actual George fucking Hamilton. Little would he know in actual 2007 that 2 years later he would be in a jungle with some bloke from High Oaks, Sabrina from Mystique and a woman that cleans actual shit up on television. Andy Dick is the weatherman. This movie is blowing my fucking mind. Billy wants some fanny after seeing what he thinks is a hot girl trying to fix her car. He is such a fucking dork it's unreal. He tells Jimmy to stop the car as he attempts to put the moves on her. I bet he's never kissed a fucking girl in his life. Because he's a fucking dork. Turns out it was a bloke with a mohawk, and it was all a trap. The T-1000's hired goons attempt to steal the Lee brothers' other half of the medallion. A car chase occurs at the same place where the Terminator tunnel chase happened. It made me want to buy to watch the movie. An actual good movie. But I stuck with this one because I am a fucking idiot. They drive to a dead end, and the two Mohawked crooks have them trapped. It should be noted that one of the Mohawk dudes called the brothers Ugly, because their last name is Lee, and ugly is a very degrading word. Very clever. They act like it's the funniest thing in the world. Help is on hand for the two brothers and their female mate which I would later found out would be their adoptive mother. Hold on. She looks like their sister. She looks 26 years old. The help comes in the form of an Eminem-looking Alyssa Milano and her pals the Power Corporation. The two thugs shit themselves or something. Billy teases Marion, Alyssa, because he fancies her and he's an absolute fucking dork. A lot of the special effects on this movie must have been mind-blowing in the 90s. But now we live in an age of CGI and 4K high definition. It's like playing a PlayStation 1 game straight after playing an Xbox One game. Depressingly dated. There's a scene in the movie where Marion's little brother, played by Alyssa's actual real-life brother, is in his room playing one of those virtual reality helmets you'd see on Games World back in the 90s. I'm guessing the writers thought this is what we'd be playing in 2007. Nope. But with the Oculus Rift out now, they were 9 years off. The Dork brothers and their adopted mother ramble on and on about the medallion. I got bored. George Hamilton reports that Madonna has ended her marriage to Tom Arnold. I guess Tom cheated on Roseanne for a piece of Magis fudge. I hope Rocco Ritchie wasn't watching it. Man, Tom Arnold as my stepfather? Fucking depressing. We cut to Marion putting on a wig because she doesn't want her dad, who is a cop, to know she's in the Power Corps. Again, I get bored. The two dorks are practicing their karate in an empty gym whilst dressed like it's 1993. In 2007, the T-1000 enters the gym with his gang of crooks. He wants the other medallion. Oh God, stop saying medallion. Of course, the two are stubborn and say no. Then they do a runner. After they fight off the goons, a big monster that was the big Mohawk guy bursts through a wall. The two do a fighting stance, look at each other, and scream. Okay, that was funny. Elsewhere, the adopted mother and T-1000 are in a confrontation. She does a flying kick on him through a wall. Of course, he doesn't feel it and she just runs away. The two lads are struggling to kick fuck out of the monster. But the woman kicks the monster in the back, and he falls off the stage onto a net. Nothing but net, one of the two say. Oh God, you two are fucking nerds. The T-1000 turns into liquid or some shit, and goes into the body of the female. He controls her to be shut in a cage. The T-1000 gets out of the body, and tells the lads that he will set the whole place on fire if he doesn't get there. Oh God, They say no. He sets the place on fire. The female is struggling. Then easily kicks the door down. As they are escaping, she manages to get trapped in the building whilst those two nerds are outside. They knock on the door a bit, then run because the building is about to explode. A big explosion happens, and their adoptive mother dies. I stopped paying attention as I was texting Millhouse about the Battlefield beta servers being so fucking shit. So anyway, the two argue for a bit by the seaside, and Jimmy throws a lunchbox in the water. Then the two make up in the nerdiest possible way. They are walking by a junkyard, but it's a trap. The T-1000 goons are hiding, and a Jackie Chan-style fight sequence occurs. The fighting is actually pretty cool. The lads scarper as the thugs are more than they can handle, and hide in a hut. They find a speedboat, and drive away. How did they know how to drive a speedboat, is beyond me. Two more thugs chase the two on jet skis. From out of nowhere, you see the remains of the old Los Angeles, including the Hollywood sign, Manned Chinese Theater and the Capitol Records building. They crash the speedboat into a sign, and it explodes. The baddies assume the two are dead. They got out just in time. Fuck. They stumble upon the Power Corp HQ. Marion teases them. Then they plan to get the other Meadow shut the fuck up. They go to T-1000's headquarters where they see Marion's dad and T-1000 arguing. They try to get the other medallion from the vent by fishing for it using string and a badge. T-1000's female companion, who looks like every 90s female villain ever, catches them, and starts stabbing them with a sword. The trio of dorks fall through the vent. The dad is shocked to see his daughter with Eminem hair. Battle commences as the dad fights generic 90s female baddie, and the trio just slide down a rope to escape. Cowards. They enter a morgue and get freaked out by all the dead bodies. The T-1000 enters the body of a dead basketball player, and like a zombie, rises from the dead. They defeat the T-1000 by putting a fan on, and shattering his soul to pieces. So we thought. T-1000 is still alive in the basketball player, and bear hugs Jimmy as Billy and Marion are trapped in the vent. Oh God, I can't explain this shit. T-1000's thugs have invaded Power Corps HQ, and Billy and Marion fight them all off with ease. The 90s female baddie tries to whip Marion with her whip because she's a generic leather-clad 90s female baddie. All the baddies are defeated, until Jimmy makes his return. But's he acting weird? Is it really Jimmy? No. hits T-1000 controlling Jimmy. He kicks fuck out of Billy whilst the latter acts like a fucking geek. Billy has enough, and throws his medallion away. But it goes directly back to him, and he now has some sort of power. Nothing Jimmy can do can hurt him. He fights back with authority, and kicks the T-1000 out of Jimmy. "You leave?" Jimmy asks. The two then act like such dorks that Bill and Ted would think, man, these guys are massive fucking dorks. The T-1000 manages to get the other medallion, and turns into two mutated ninjas. With all his power, he turns the electricity off and the two fight the Nerd Brothers. Instead of helping, the 1000s of their so-called friends watch on as the least struggle. The big monster from earlier enters. He is now friends with the power core after they find him on the floor after the explosion. "I didn't mention that because I couldn't be arsed." He yells at Marion to turn the power on. The power is switched on, and the two ninjas start to melt from the light. Billy and Jimmy grab the other medallion, and they get new GIs. That's it? New GIs? T-1000 turned into two ninjas. Holy fuck, they got a rough deal. For a laugh, Jimmy enters the body of T-1000, and acts like a fucking nerd as the police come. T-1000 takes a seat, gives the police a shitload of cash, and turns himself in whilst sounding like the biggest dork possible.